comrades, young people, and change makers across the African continent and in the diaspora. My name is Natalie Mukundane, and I am making this video on the African Youth Commission in my capacity as the Executive Chairperson. I want to introduce the African Youth Commission to those who've never heard of it before, or those who've heard of it but do not know the full intricate details of what it does. So basically, the African Youth Commission is an independent Pan-African youth network that was founded by youth leaders like you and I to foster synergy amongst youth and youth organizations on the continent and in the diaspora. The African Youth Commission was officially inaugurated in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. This organization is determined to commit and provide a space and voice for youth organizations to set and drive their own agenda. It was also founded to promote the involvement of young people as key partners in the implementation of the Africa 2063 agenda, as well as the UN 2030 SDG agenda. Finally, the African Youth Commission was also founded to support the advocacy actions on the ratification and implementation of the African Youth Charter. Among several other activities, since its inauguration, we have been able to successfully host and organize 3 Pan-African Youth Conferences. Of course, the first being in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, where the inauguration ceremony was held. The second was in Harare, Zimbabwe. The third, hosted alongside our brothers, the National Youth Council, was in the Great Gambia just last year in 2019. The fourth, which was supposed to happen this year in collaboration with the Kenya National Youth Council and the Youth Senate, was not able to take place due to the global pandemic COVID-19. Nevertheless, we shall be hosting our very first online General Assembly, and I shall be sharing the link alongside this video. This General Assembly will be hosted on the 26th of August, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. East African time. We shall be sharing with all interested parties our activity reports, financial reports, and our work plan for the last active year. Now, much as we have a base in over 46 countries, we are trying to officially have presence through what we call national consortiums. As I speak to you right now, we are officially launched in 4 countries. These countries are none other than Gambia, Kenya, Uganda, Senegal, and Nigeria. These are the countries where the youth organizations and young people decided we don't want to have just a passive say. We want to be part of the national consortium so that we can question your activities, we can make decisions, and we can have our voices officially represented. Now, who can be a member of the African Youth Commission and how? I will first like to describe the structure of the organization so that you can understand where it is you may fall. The African Youth Commission is set up in 4 defined structures. The advisory board is a team of 5 individuals from across the 5 different regions of the continent who do not necessarily have to be youth, but are people who have experience in their fields and use that experience and professionalism to mentor the organization. The Executive Council are a team of what we call commissioners, and they are elected by the General Assembly. These commissioners stand for elections so that they can do diplomacy work and look for funds that the organizations can use to further its cause on the continent. The General Assembly. This is where you, our members, are featured. The General Assembly is the most important body of the African Youth Commission. It is a decision-making body. The General Assembly is comprised of members, and in this scenario, our members are youth organizations. We used to have individual-based membership, but we realized to sustainably multiply our efforts and reach out to as many young people as possible on the continent, it was imperative that we move from the individual membership base to the youth organization membership base. That is why, as a single individual, unfortunately, you cannot be a member of the African Youth Commission. If you have founded a youth organization and it has activities on ground and at grassroots level, you are the kind of members that we are looking for to consist and comprise our General Assembly. Now, every year, the General Assembly has a meeting whereby we, your elected leaders, present to you the reports in terms of finance, in terms of activities, in terms of our work plan that we've been able to accomplish throughout the year. The next structure is called the Secretariat. Now, the Secretariat is comprised of or consists of a team of individuals, of course strictly youth, that are vetted and hired by the Executive Council to basically carry out the day-to-day runnings of the organization. As I speak, our Secretariat is currently based in the Great Gambia, Banjul, and our head of Secretariat is seated there running operations across the continent. The Secretariat is what is responsible for making sure that the organization's day-to-day activities, reports, and whatsoever that is necessary is run as smoothly and efficiently as possible. I would call the Secretariat the heart, or so to speak, the battery of the organization, because it is because of this part of the structure, the Secretariat, that the organization is able to function smoothly and make sure that all the activities, reports, and meetings that are supposed to be held are actually done as planned. Now, one may wonder why such a very versatile, or so to say, in some other people's opinions, complicated structure. The reason why the African Youth Commission is structured as such is because we wanted to bring closer to the young people, or so to say the youth of Africa, the actual structure of the African Union Commission. We realized that most young people cannot relate to that structure, do not know what the functions are for the different entities, so to speak, commissioners, secretariat, what have you. So we decided to duplicate that structure so that the youth can become more familiar with the workings of the African Union Commission, and also in turn make sure that they can use that structure to effect change in their different capacities. Being a youth-led and strictly youth-based organization, we asked the young people on the continent, what are the 4 areas that if we worked upon as an organization would curtail and fast forward our development and our effectiveness to do better? Young people from across the 46 countries where we are based wrote back to us and chose 4 areas. These areas are employment, entrepreneurship, governance and human rights, peace and security, health and well-being. These 4 pillars are our cornerstone as an organization. These are the pillars that we use to guide our work plan and our financial activities. We are undergoing an expansion at the moment, and we have presence in 46 countries, but we want to officiate that presence by officially launching the national consortiums I earlier talked about. I would like to invite any youth organization across the continent that is watching this video to reach out to us and be part of this vast organization that is looking to foster change in mindsets and in attitudes on the continent. If you would like to be part of the African Youth Commission, please just send in an email to ayc@auyc.org indicating the name of your youth organization, your country, and a wonderful and amazing team will get back to you as soon as possible on how you can be part of the organization. Now, I have only been able to compress and put in a nutshell as much as I can about this very vast organization. It may take time for you to understand its workings and what it is exactly you can benefit from it. But I would encourage you and implore you to visit our website www.africanyouthcommission.org so that you can get more details. All our activity reports, financial reports, webinars that we've been able to host, all our events that we've been able to participate in are reflected on the website. So I would encourage you to visit the website and read as much as possible so that you can get to slowly understand the way the organization works and how best you can tap into the vast network of youth organizations that consist of the Mother Network. Let us not forget, comrades, Africa is a continent of the young, with about 65% of the total population being below the age of 35 years, and over 35% are between the ages of 15 and 35. This makes Africa the most youthful continent. Young people and the youth are critical for Africa's continued growth and development and demographic evolution. Youth represent new entrants into the continent's labor force and will also be the basis for a future growth. Youth can therefore be either a major source of development or a serious social friction, depending on the success with which they're incorporated into the labor market and other social structures. We call upon governments, researchers, civil society, and development partners to hold hands with us and recognize that quality education, training, health information, and services, as well as human rights protections and opportunities to participate in decision making, are critical and necessary for the young people on the continent. With this investment made effectively, youth will be able to thrive, contribute fully to the societies, and develop judgment, values, behavior, and the resilience they need to be safe, so that we can end discrimination, violence, and poverty, especially amongst vulnerable groups like youth with disabilities and young girls on the continent. In turn, this generation will nurture the next so that they too can realize their full potential and effectively engage in a rapidly globalized economy. I am looking forward to seeing as many of you come on board and be a member of one of the greatest youth organizations, in my opinion, to grace this continent. Thank you so much for your kind attention.
One.
Thank you. We thought you were in serious business.
No. You're practicing so that you know what you'll do.
If she wants to be Spotify, we'll tell her you say everybody touch water and we will have touch water. What do you know? That the only rule is that we're using our hands and not blowing our mouth.
And everyone has to do it. But the rule is